The National Electrical Code, or NEC, establishes safety standards for electrical installations. Within the scope of air conditioning work, particularly when dealing with replacing rooftop units and their associated disconnects, the NEC draws a line regarding who can perform specific tasks. It's crucial to understand these boundaries to ensure compliance and safety. The fundamental principle is that any electrical work should be performed by a qualified person. NEC Section 110.3 B explicitly states that only qualified persons shall perform electrical work. This isn't just a suggestion. It's a mandatory requirement. The code defines qualified persons as those familiar with the hazards involved in electrical work and who have received training in the proper methods of performing such work. This definition is critical because it clarifies that simply possessing general mechanical skills, such as those used in air conditioning repair, doesn't automatically qualify someone to undertake electrical tasks. Being an air conditioning technician does not inherently qualify someone to perform electrical work on an air conditioner. The distinction lies in the specific knowledge and training related to electrical systems and safety. Air conditioning technicians are skilled in the mechanical aspects of the units, such as refrigerant handling, airflow, and system diagnostics. However, electrical work demands a different skill set, including understanding wiring diagrams, electrical loads, grounding, and overcurrent protection. The NEC permits an air conditioning technician to replace an air conditioning unit if it's a direct replacement, meaning no electrical modifications or new wiring are necessary. This is a like-for-like swap, where the existing electrical connections are simply reconnected to the new unit without altering the original electrical setup. However, the moment any electrical work is required, such as installing a new disconnect switch or modifying the existing wiring, a licensed electrician must be involved. This is where NEC Section 440.10 becomes relevant. This section specifically addresses disconnecting means for air conditioning and refrigerating equipment. It requires that a disconnecting means, which is essentially a switch to cut off power to the unit, be provided for each service, feeder, and branch circuit at the point where the conductors enter or leave the enclosure or equipment. This disconnect must be readily accessible and located within sight of the air conditioning equipment. The purpose of this requirement is to provide a safe and convenient way to energize the equipment for maintenance or repair. Critically, NEC Section 440.10 implies that the installation of this disconnecting means must be performed by a licensed electrician. The rationale behind this requirement is to ensure that the disconnect is installed correctly, with proper wiring, grounding, and overcurrent protection, minimizing the risk of electrical hazards. The NEC does not explicitly state that a licensed electrician must install the disconnect, but the combination of 110.3 B and the requirements within 440.10 strongly suggests this interpretation. Licensed electricians undergo extensive training and are tested on their knowledge of the NEC and electrical safety practices. They are qualified to work with electrical systems and ensure that installations meet code requirements. Attempting to install or replace a disconnect switch without the proper qualifications can lead to several risks. Firstly, improper wiring can create fire hazards. Loose connections, incorrect wire sizing, or improper grounding can cause overheating and potentially ignite surrounding materials. Secondly, electrical shock is a significant danger. Working with live electrical circuits without proper training and safety equipment can result in serious injury or even death. Thirdly, code violations can lead to fines and penalties. Electrical inspectors are responsible for enforcing the NEC, and they can issue citations for non-compliant installations. Furthermore, improper electrical work can void warranties on air conditioning equipment and potentially create liability issues. In summary, while air conditioning technicians are skilled in the mechanical aspects of air conditioning systems, the NEC requires licensed electricians to perform any electrical work, including installing or replacing disconnect switches. This requirement is in place to ensure safety, prevent electrical hazards, and comply with electrical codes. If you are not a licensed electrician, it is essential to hire one for any electrical work related to air conditioning installations. Here's a further breakdown of the key NEC sections discussed. Firstly, NEC section 110.3. B deals with examination, installation, and use of equipment. It states that equipment that is listed or labeled must be installed and used in accordance with any instructions included in the listing or labeling. This means that if the air conditioning unit or disconnect switch has specific installation instructions, they must be followed precisely. More importantly, as mentioned earlier, it emphasizes that only qualified persons can perform electrical work. Secondly, NEC section 440.10, focusing on air conditioning and refrigerating equipment, mandates a disconnecting means be installed within sight of the air conditioning equipment. This disconnect should be readily accessible and capable of disconnecting all ungrounded conductors. The specific requirements for the disconnect, such as its ampacity and voltage rating, are detailed within this section and must be adhered to. Now let's delve into some additional considerations related to electrical work in the NEC. Firstly, local amendments. It's crucial to remember that local jurisdictions may have amendments to the NEC. These amendments can be more stringent than the national code and may impose additional requirements. Therefore, it's always essential to check with the local building department or electrical inspector to determine if any local amendments apply to the air conditioning installation. Secondly, permitting. In most jurisdictions, a permit is required for electrical work, including the installation of a new disconnect switch. The permit process ensures that the work is inspected by a qualified electrical inspector to verify compliance with the NEC and local codes. Failing to obtain a permit can result in fines and delays. Thirdly, grounding and bonding. Proper grounding and bonding are critical for electrical safety. Grounding provides a path for fault current to flow back to the source, allowing the overcurrent protection device, such as a circuit breaker or fuse, to trip and de-energize the circuit. Bonding ensures that all metal parts of the electrical system are at the same potential, reducing the risk of electrical shock. The NEC has specific requirements for grounding and bonding, which must be followed carefully. Fourthly, overcurrent protection. Overcurrent protection devices, such as circuit breakers and fuses, are designed to protect electrical circuits from overloads and short circuits. The NEC specifies the appropriate size of overcurrent protection devices for different types of circuits and equipment. Using the wrong size overcurrent protection device can create a fire hazard. Fifthly, wiring methods. The NEC specifies the types of wiring methods that are permitted for different applications. Wiring methods include conduit, cable, and wire. The NEC also specifies the size and type of conductors that must be used for different circuits. Using the wrong type of wiring method or conductors can create a fire hazard or electrical shock hazard. Sixthly, working clearances. The NEC requires adequate working clearances around electrical equipment to allow for safe access and maintenance. These clearances ensure that electricians have enough space to work on the equipment without being exposed to electrical hazards. Seventhly, personal protective equipment, or PPE. When working with electrical systems, it's essential to use appropriate PPE, such as insulated gloves, safety glasses, and arc-rated clothing. PPE protects electricians from electrical shock, arc flash, and other electrical hazards. Eighthly, lockout/tagout procedures. Lockout/tagout procedures are used to de-energize electrical equipment before performing maintenance or repairs. These procedures ensure that the equipment cannot be accidentally energized while someone is working on it. Ninthly, electrical safety training. Electrical safety training is essential for anyone who works with electrical systems. This training provides electricians with the knowledge and skills they need to work safely and comply with the NEC. This is the training mentioned earlier that a qualified person would have. Tenthly, documentation. Maintaining accurate documentation of electrical installations is crucial for future maintenance and troubleshooting. This documentation should include wiring diagrams, panel schedules, and equipment specifications. 11thly, arc flash hazard analysis. An arc flash hazard analysis is a study that determines the potential arc flash hazards associated with electrical equipment. This analysis helps to identify the appropriate PPE and safe work practices for working on the equipment. 12thly, infrared scanning. Infrared scanning is a non-destructive testing method that can be used to detect hot spots in electrical equipment. Hot spots can indicate loose connections, overloaded circuits, or other electrical problems. 13thly, power quality analysis. Power quality analysis is a method of measuring and analyzing the quality of electrical power. This analysis can help to identify power quality problems such as voltage sags, voltage swells, and harmonics. 14thly, energy efficiency. Energy efficiency is an important consideration when designing and installing electrical systems. The NEC has requirements for energy-efficient lighting, motors, and other equipment. 15thly, renewable energy. The NEC has specific requirements for the installation of renewable energy systems, such as solar photovoltaic systems and wind turbines. These requirements address safety concerns related to these systems. 16thly, emergency power systems. Emergency power systems, such as generators and uninterruptible power supplies, or UPS, provide backup power in the event of a power outage. The NEC has requirements for the installation and maintenance of emergency power systems. 17thly, fire alarm systems. Fire alarm systems are designed to detect fires and alert occupants of a building. The NEC has requirements for the installation and maintenance of fire alarm systems. 18thly, communications systems. Communications systems, such as telephone systems and data networks, are an integral part of modern buildings. The NEC has requirements for the installation and maintenance of communications systems. 19thly, swimming pools and spas. Swimming pools and spas pose unique electrical hazards. The NEC has specific requirements for the electrical installation of swimming pools and spas to protect swimmers from electrical shock. 20thly, hazardous locations. Hazardous locations are areas where flammable gases, vapors, or dust may be present. The NEC has specific requirements for the electrical installation of hazardous locations to prevent explosions and fires. 21st, industrial control panels. Industrial control panels are used to control and automate industrial processes. The NEC has requirements for the design and construction of industrial control panels. 22nd, elevators and escalators. Elevators and escalators are complex electromechanical systems. The NEC has requirements for the electrical installation of elevators and escalators. 23rd, healthcare facilities. Healthcare facilities have unique electrical requirements to ensure patient safety. The NEC has specific requirements for the electrical installation of healthcare facilities. 24th, data centers. Data centers are critical facilities that require a reliable power supply. The NEC has requirements for the electrical installation of data centers. 25th, high-rise buildings. High-rise buildings have unique electrical challenges due to their size and complexity. The NEC has requirements for the electrical installation of high-rise buildings. All of these considerations highlight the complexity of electrical work and the importance of hiring a licensed electrician for any electrical tasks beyond simple like-for-like equipment replacement.